clearly right after that, we were walking over to the Intuit Dome, and that's clearly where Money in the Bank was. So quick rundown on the show. We opened up with the women's Money in the Bank match. The participants, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Becker, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, and Julia, with
Julia.
Naomi winning. And then we had the impromptu Intercontinental Championship match between Dominic Mysterio against Octagon Jr., which clearly happened because of that little run-in that Dominic Mysterio had with Octagon Jr. from Worlds Collide, but he retained. We had the women's intercontinental matchup between Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria, and this being the third time that they faced each other. This time, a different outcome with Becky Lynch actually becoming the new Intercontinental Women's Champion. Then we had the men's Money in the Bank matchup between Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Penta, Solo Sikoa, El Grande Americano, and Andrade. So this one, probably, I want to say this is probably the match of the night for me specifically, but the winner of this was Seth Rollins. We'll kind of go into more details about that later. And then the main event with the tag team of Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul, with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso coming on top with a little surprise in that matchup, which we'll obviously discuss here as well. So, gentlemen, Money in the Bank, LA, Intuit Dome. Thoughts on this one? Nick, your eyes kind of like opened up a bit.
I was just waiting for everybody to go.
What do you want to say?
Go.
No.
Go ahead.
I thought you wanted to like shout something out.
I didn't want to.
Yo, go ahead, man.
No. I just I'm hey, congratulations, Naomi. I'm actually really happy she won. I was so convinced that Mommy was gonna win that one. But I am extremely happy that Naomi won that one. And I don't know if you guys got to see her post interview.
No.
After the match with Big E.
Big E,
She almost lost the heel. She almost lost it. She started tearing up and everything.
Almost broke keyfabe, right?
Yeah. She almost broke keyfabe.
Yeah.
She
I heard about it.
She had to really gather herself real quick, and she brought it back. But yeah, I'm glad Naomi won that one.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The Dominic Mysterio match, like I said, there's a reason he didn't pick Mysterio Iguana, because Mysterio Iguana won. The Money in the Bank match, I gotta agree, that was my match of the night as well. I really enjoyed it because there was so many stories going on all at one time. We got Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, with Jacob Fatu turning on him. That was great. Man. So it's basically, that's him turning face. I'm for it. I'm here for it. Y'all know what I mean?
All gas, no brains.
I mean, all gas, no brains. Shit. The only part about it was that it was just too obvious that Seth was gonna win it. But I mean, it furthers the story about him having power, right? So sorry if my voice keeps going in and out, but I'm kind of sick. But other than that, dude, like, I mean, it was a spot fest, high action, constant action on the ladders, and it's just like it was nonstop. I really enjoyed that match, and just when you think, like, normally it's like, okay, you'll have like a bunch of guys on the ladder, all of them will fall off, and you'll see one struggle, and then like you won't have more spots after. Fuck that, dude. It was just like you'll see one guy climb up, and then you'll have another climb up. You'll have a spot, and then you have one other guy climb up. Next thing you know, you have like 6 guys climbing up, and then they'll all fall off. But then another one will keep, and it was just constant action. I was like, I loved it. So yeah, that was match of the night for me as well. And the John Cena match, that was pretty good. You know, I mean, all around really good. I'm gonna keep saying it. Outside of wrestling, you know, his outside stuff aside, I don't know how you can hate Logan Paul for wrestling. He's good, dude. He's good. He's a good damn wrestler, dude. You can't. It's hard to deny his wrestling talent at this point. He's a damn good wrestler. He's put in the work. It makes you think that he's been doing it for a while. He's put in the work, and I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed seeing the guy at the end come in for the save. You know what I mean? The discussion that we'll end up having.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna run this fast because we have like more topics to talk about. Really quickly, the entrances. Oh man, the entrances were dope.
Yeah.
I know. Okay. Alexa Bliss's song, man. If you got seizure problems or something like that, you're gonna be in trouble because them lights were dope, bro. Boom, 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 and it was just lights everywhere. Oh man, it was like EDM fest. It was crazy, man. Dope entrances. Of course, Julia had the best one, even though she didn't get the loudest pop. She had the best one because it was Julia coming out. We know that, but Mommy got the biggest pop. Naomi, well deserved. I think JoJo and I had picked Naomi. I was definitely picking Naomi from the start. She's been doing great work as a heel. She changed up her character. We're invested in you, Naomi. I know you know me. Keep doing your thing. Cash in that money in the bank. Get that belt. It's gonna be fun watching you do your thing. Octagon and Rey Mysterio. It was fun, but after like you saw what happened at Worlds Collide and stuff, you know, it was. I just didn't have the energy for them, but they did great. They did great. It made sense for Seth to go because Seth had to. Seth getting Paul Heyman, he's gonna get the belt. When is he gonna get the belt? He's gonna get it. There it is, right? So I figured that was his way of keeping him away from the belt, but in the title picture also. The most impressive thing I saw there is Jacob Fatu coming out big. Bronson Reed gets pop-up Samoa dropped. Oh man, that guy picked him up and Samoan dropped his ass. Then threw him outside and splashed his ass. Man, it was crazy. That was probably the best spot. Yeah, that was probably the best spot of the night for me because Jacob Fatu, unbelievable. And then the rest, like we saw what happened with then it was Logan Paul and Cena. Best part of that match is Jey Uso doing his entrance song. That was fun. Man, the crowd was into it. Everybody was eating and everything. Definitely cool that a lot of the IWC was satisfied with what had happened with the end of that match. And yeah, it was take my money, WWE. I had a great time. Take my money.
I was eating the bathroom. I thought that was good for the meantime. Hearing Cody come in now, I heard that's his song, and I was like, okay, I got time.
Yeah, you still
and I
made
heard
it.
that you didn't. I'm like, oh shit, literally like in the bathroom shitting.
I know. Hey, JoJo still
made
made
to admit
it.
that, but for the ending,
Yeah, because
I thought he was gonna run it back, and then Logan Paul comes out. I'm like, oh.
Hey, dude,
anyways,
I would have to echo these sentiments because at Money in the Bank off top because of these screensaver, you know what I mean, entrances over there at the forum. It did stand out. The entrances did stand out. Like the energy too when you hear them. And the visuals. It was nuts, man. And then of course the sensory overload of the spots and I picked Solo, so that's why I was left speechless when Jacob came. Yeah, I thought Jacob left me speechless. I was already like, oh snap, I couldn't even move. I was frozen after he's a savage, and me too. I picked Mommy, but I'm not mad at the storytelling that they're gonna long term. With Naomi, it's gonna be. And if we had the most mid. Not that they were mid, they were great. Is Mysterio and that had to be out of them. But yeah, dude. Who else was on that day? Because it was Becky. I knew it. Hey, see, for me, I picked Becky. That's the only thing I won on because I was just like, you can't just keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing she hasn't done. So, but it just opened up something else for Raw, which I didn't see coming until we saw it. You know, and she's that.
Yeah, I think I'll say this because this is my first Money in the Bank match, or I should say, PLE, and I think everything outside of like a war games is the only. This was like the only other gimmick match I've never witnessed live.
I see
I've
War
seen
Games.
ladder matches, but Money in the Bank is different, right? Like we just kind of didn't know if somebody was gonna have a cash in, which in the past, like some of the actual Money in the Bank winners on the same day of, right, would cash in their actual suitcase. So we don't know if that was gonna happen. I'll say the part of it though it's cool is just because now that the women's and the men's have their own respective Money in the Bank matchups, it does allow us to kind of see it more than once in the same PLE. The matches itself are gosh, they had the who's who, right? I think specifically for the women's, I would say had like a lot of top tier talent. Not to say that the men's was any less, but I feel like we had some of the upper echelon female main eventers in that mix, and with some of the hot ones that kind of just got called up to the roster, specifically Julia and Stephanie. So them making their actual debut in a Money in the Bank match also
Roxanne.
really made it. Oh yeah, my apologies. Yes, Roxanne. Can't forget that name. So those three specifically, and then we got Alexa, Naomi, and Rhea as like the top, like some of the top veterans in the game right now. So I personally thought they actually had a really stacked match. And then on the men's side, obviously, the the how should I say this? Like this, the insertion of Rollins group where Braun and Bronson came out, and then we also had Jacob and JC also show up, kind of insert themselves into the match at some point. That I don't know if you guys remember. I kind of marked out just because, like, man, we didn't expect them to come out,
Yeah.
but the way they did was truly impactful. We clearly saw the turn. I think we've talked about this specific, turn a few episodes back, with Solo and Jacob. I didn't expect it to at that actual event, but at the same time, the way it went down was like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that they're going to do it now. Um, I'll even say this, Solo, my gosh, there's a character. I think we are seeing a wide range of who he's become. Clearly he was the enforcer in the OG bloodline, but then 2.0 bloodline, he was kind of like, obviously assuming the leadership role. Now he's kind of, gone a little comedic, but still, I would say, it's entertaining. It's definitely put him in the kind of almost main event-esque, tier. But at the end of the day, I thought that match was clearly my favorite for those multiple reasons. And I'm not mad at Seth winning it. I think like I can't disagree. I share the same sentiment. It makes the most sense. And, in terms of storyline wise, he's a top heel. I think having a top heel having a suitcase or specifically the money back suitcase makes more sense than a actual baby face.
Yeah.
And of course, it also depends on who's actually the world champion too, right? Or the undisputed champion for that matter. But yeah, like this result, I was actually rooting for LA Knight, but I also felt like it was not. If Seth won, it still made sense to me. That's how I looked at it. So the other part of the like the evening, and I know we're kind of like refraining on talking on that one piece of the main event, but yeah, that moment where We clearly saw a run in. Somebody interfered. Lo and behold, the fans kept chanting. Who did we get? Good old R-Truth, aka Ron Killings, right? So that was probably another big pop. He had a big pop of the night. Clearly a big instrumental role into the main event, putting Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso over. So great way to cap off the PLE, I would say. And leading into the next night, we have.
Thanks for watching that clip from the LTS Wrestling Podcast, where it's all about the long-term storytelling. If you enjoyed that, we have plenty more where that came from. And when you're ready, check out the full episode. Catch you on the next one.